Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to answer a question that I get frequently asked. And the question is, do narcissists grieve the way how we do? And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. Now we need to understand that narcissists are like you and me. Yeah, narcissism is a kind of a personality disorder, and anyone can suffer from it, our loved ones, our partner, our friends, boss, anyone. Narcissists do feel pain, they do experience anger, they do feel happy, and a lot of things, just the way how we do. But their way of looking at things is very different. Yeah. The grief that the narcissists experience is very instrumental. And let me give you an example. You know, I have a good car, yeah, and one fine morning my car broke down and I had to take a taxi to my work. And whole day I'm ruminating that I had to take the taxi. If my car would have been there, I would have had, drove all the way to the office and I would have been on time. So this is the same way a narcissist also grieve. They grieve the loss of the supply, they grieve death, but they don't grieve the way how we do. My mother passed away. It was a big loss for me. And that void cannot be filled by any other relationship. I had one mother and she's no more. She died in an accident. I did grieve for some time, but then I decided that I need to move on. Yes, the loss had to happen and it happened, and I have faced it, I have experienced it, and that's it. I need to keep moving forward. Nobody can replace her in my life, and I can never forget the fact that she died in an accident and I lost her. This is the way how a healthy individual processes grief. But the way how my father processed was absolutely different. He, being a grandiose narcissist, processed it in a very different way. He used to often tell us that now who is going to cook this for me? Now who is going to do the dishes the way how your mother used to do the dishes? Now who is going to pack things the way how your mother used to do? So it was very instrumental. It was almost like loss of convenience. Yeah, someone who was doing things in a very good way for you, now all what you're grieving about is that person is missing. Now who's gonna do that? Yeah, so the narcissist grief is like this. It's very instrumental in nature. We all were coping up well, when my mother passed away, but he went on ruminating that well, she has died, and after her death I'm having a lot of inconvenience. Who's going to do my clothes? Who's going to do the food and this and that? Though we were there to do everything for him, but still he felt sad because she was not there to do the things. Not even once I heard from him that he misses her presence. No, never, ever. We do miss her presence, but all what he used to miss was the things that she used to do. Yeah, so it's very instrumental, for these narcissists. The way how they look at things, it's very different, compared to the way how we look at things. We look at things in a more compassionate, emotional way, in a more healthier way. Their way of looking at things is obsession, control, possession, demand, transaction, and all of that. We might not be looking at the things the same way, and that is the difference between you and the narcissist. So they do grieve, they do feel sad, but they are sad because that person is missing and that person is not there to do the task. Yeah, they grieve when they lose a supply, because they think and they feel that now who's going to be my next supply. Yeah, now who's going to replace all that supply that I used to get from her or him. Now who's going to replace that, who's going to be the next supplier. So things are a little bit different for these narcissists. Also, like from my past experience, my dad always used to tell us that, oh, you guys are just moving on in life. Yeah, because the narcissist wants everything to be big and great for him or her. And the same way, his grief is much bigger, because he can see the void, he can see the empty space, and he can see that my mother is not there to do certain things, and he is sad about that, and that has to be the biggest grief on this planet. We are kids, we don't understand anything, and our feelings, our grief is all invalidated. Yeah, he used to say, oh, you guys are now eating all well, you guys are resuming back life and all of that. But he never used to identify and validate how we used to feel on the inside. The way how I process things is that all what he lost was a servant, a supply, that's it. And he was sad about losing a servant who would do his bidding. He never used to say that now who is going to give me company, now who is going to be my wife, now who is going to be next to me. He never used to say all of that. There used to be a list of things. Now who's going to cook for me in this way, now who's going to do this thing in this way, and all of that. So things are very different for these narcissists. Narcissists process grief in a very different way, and yes, their grief is big, their grief is huge. Your one is not that much. Your grief is not that good enough. You are not grieving enough. You're not sad enough. Yeah, so it's always like a competition with these narcissists. If you are sad, well, I'm more sad. If you're happy, well, you're not that happy. You're not truly happy. Look at me, I'm actually happy. So it's a very obsessive. When you look at these narcissists, they exhibit a lot of this obsessive behavior. Yeah, so their happiness is bigger, their grief is bigger, their anger is bigger, everything is bigger in their case. For others, no, it's not that good enough. So yes, like us, like you and me, narcissists do grieve. Yes, when they lose someone, they are sad, but they are sad about the supply, the loss of that supply. They are sad about that. They are not sad about that person is dead and now who is going to be their companion or who is going to give them company. They are sad about only the things now that they will be losing. Yeah, as to who's going to do this, who's going to do that. Those are the things that is like a loss for this narcissist, not the life. Life is okay. If someone lives or dies, that is of zero concern, as long as that person is of some worth and value, and as long as that person is productive, and as long as that person is doing something in the relationship, it's fine. Yeah, and when the person dies, the narcissist is sad because a servant dies, a slave has died, and now who's going to do all of that work? So it's sad, but this is how narcissists process grief. They do feel sad, and they see it as a loss business for them. So yes, in case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below, and please take care of yourself, and lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.